Well, welcome to the very first Cord Cutting Weekly. This is a show that we're going to try to do weekly that will look at the biggest stories from the week past that I think are going to be most influential to the future of cord cutting. Now, this is not really a hard news show. This is going to be more about my personal opinion on what I think are some of the biggest cord cutting related stories that could have an impact on the long-term future of cord cutting. Things I think you should pay attention to, and what are my personal opinion on these. If you're looking for more of a hard news, just, stick to the facts, no personal opinion related to it, check out cordcardsnews.com in our news tab. That's news. This is going to be more news and commentary, as Paul Harvey used to like to say. So let's kind of dive in and take a look at what the newest stories of the week are. The number one, probably the biggest news story of the week, is Fox, Warner Brothers, Sony, and Universal all join up with Disney in their Movies Anywhere service. This used to be called Disney's Movies Anywhere. Now they're just calling it Movies Anywhere. It allows you to link your iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, and Vudu accounts all into one service, and then it takes all the movies from the participating movie store services like Fox, Warner Brothers, etc., puts them all in one place and allows you to watch them anywhere that there's a Movies Anywhere. So you can watch your Amazon movies on iTunes, or on Apple TV, your iTunes movies on Roku, and so on. It's a pretty cool service. And if you link 2 or more services, you should get 5 free movies, including Ice Age, Jason Bourne, and more. And the new Ghostbusters movies, and so on. This is pretty cool. It kind of is the solution to a lot of the fragmentation we're seeing. If you buy a movie on iTunes, you can only watch it on the Apple TV. If you buy a movie on Google Play, there's a few devices. Amazon's on some, but not all. Amazon videos can be seen on the NVIDIA Shield, but the Mi Box, the Android one that's sold at Walmart, is not having an official, at least, Amazon app. It really does solve the problem of having everything broken up in multiple different locations. So I'm really excited to see that happening. Keep an eye on this. I expect that if this is successful, and from all accounts it already is successful, other movie studios will slowly be joining forces because they don't want to be left out. If you're a Movie Anywhere customer and a movie studio isn't available there, you're increasingly going to be less likely to use it. Now, it's not really a store, it more just compiles your content, allows you to watch it from anywhere, which I think is what we really need right now. A way that it doesn't matter if you're an Apple user, a Roku user, a Fire TV user, you're going to be able to access your content. Next up is a story that just broke today. Verizon is delaying their live TV service until spring 2018. Now, we've heard for a long time that Verizon was intending to launch. They at first were rumored to launch in the summer of 2017. That didn't happen. Then there was rumors they're going to wait 6 months. But according to Bloomberg, who has been very good at breaking these news stories recently, they have sources there saying Verizon has now pegged spring 2018 as their goal. They've already briefed movie studios on their plans, networks, and so forth, and what they intend to do. But they threw in there, that's still the target date. It's not set in stone right now. But the earliest is probably spring 2018. The question now is, for me, are they going to be too late? Verizon seems to be pretty dedicated to diversifying. The wireless spectrum right now is becoming more and more crowded by the day, with resellers jumping in, rumors of a T-Mobile Sprint merger, even Walmart's reselling them. Dish and Charter and others are looking to get into the wireless internet side, at least with 5G. So it seems like Verizon wants to do what AT&T did. Diversify their main core business by acquisition. For AT&T, they purchased DirecTV Now. There was rumors for a while that Verizon wanted to buy either Charter or Comcast or another cable network. That did not happen, but it is now looking like at least the live TV side will happen. Though rumors are they're not completely backed out of the idea of having an acquisition in the TV realm. Whether that be a cable provider or something, we'll have to wait and see. But I am concerned that they may be a little bit too late for the show, that they've waited too long to get into the live TV streaming service. By spring 2018, there could be 10, 12 live TV streaming services available. Some of them, like Sling TV, PlayStation View, etc., have had years to build up an audience, which will put Verizon's live TV service at a severe disadvantage competing with the current market. So keep an eye on them. More competition is good for cord cutters. It will drive other services to be more competitive. You've already seen that, when DirecTV now launched, Sling TV brought a DVR out, etc. And they all seem to be feeding off each other in an effort to offer something new, unique, different for cord cutters. So keep an eye on that. Next up is Netflix. So we learned that they had a very good third quarter 2017, added millions of new subscribers. But it sounds like they are giving up on the fight to get a lot of content deals. They announced that by 2018, so next year, they will be 50% original programming, movies and TV shows. Now that doesn't mean that all the content will be gone. For example, Disney, even though they announced they're pulling at least their new movies, it's a little unclear right now if they will pull like their Disney Junior and so forth shows from Netflix. But their new movies in 2019 will no longer be put on Netflix. Fox this month is pulling pretty much the remainder of their programming. The list goes on and on. It's becoming increasingly difficult for Netflix. Some of that being that networks of movie studios are concerned about the power Netflix is getting, and they're trying to do a little in-run around that by striking more deals with Amazon and especially Hulu, where many of them own part of it. But Netflix has also got a long-term view here. When they produce an original movie or show, they own it for the most part, which means 10 years from now, you're going to be able to go back and watch House of Cards. It's unlikely that any movie or TV show that they currently have on the service 10 years from now will still be on Netflix. It'll be rotated out, or their deal with producing content will be gone. So Netflix is saying, hey, we spend $8 billion next year on original content. That's content we know will be here, that in 6 months, 2 years, we're not going to have to be scrambling to find somebody to replace it. I think that's what Netflix is doing here. They're trying to go out there and build a catalog of content that they know will be there forever. Like, hey, HBO is great for their movies and from studios, but increasingly people want HBO because they offer great original programming, and Netflix wants to be that. And they've had some great success. Orange is the New Black, House of Cards, Stranger Things, Breakout of 2016. Even smaller ones have had great following. Last Chance U, for example. So I think Netflix is not completely wrong in their plan here. It's the situation they find themselves in is not completely of their own making. It comes from being successful a little bit. Fear movie and TV studios not wanting to end up like music studios are, where they find themselves unable to do anything but work with iTunes, because iTunes is so dominant. Maybe a little bit less so now than it was a few years ago, but movie studios are afraid that the same thing will happen with Netflix, where they have no choice but to put their content on Netflix. So keep an eye on that. Next up in the fight for piracy. Now this is something that we've seen around the world, but now it's coming to the United States. Netflix, Amazon, major movie studios are all suing so-called Cody box manufacturers, and I put Cody box in quotes there. Primarily starting with one called the Tick Box, which is owners are located right here in the United States. Now, Cody boxes is kind of a general term for people that, they're typically Android boxes with Kodi loaded and a bunch of piracy add-ons loaded. Most people call them, quote, Kodi boxes. I know Kodi's 100% legitimate. I've met the people behind the team Kodi. They're great. They hate piracy, I think, more than movie studios hate piracy. But you need to remember that these Kodi boxes are not related to Kodi anyway. So disclaimer, because I can see the comments now that Kodi is legal. I get that. These boxes are often promoting the third-party add-ons that are less legal. And that's what's happening here. They're going after them. The Tick Box, which if you have been on Facebook, you've probably seen the ads, like buy our box once and never pay for TV, HBO, live sports, etc. Would be free. So unfortunately, that probably the marketing on that probably caught attention of movie studios. Unfortunately, at least for these owners. Now, there's been rumors that these movie studios will make an example of one of these boxes, and it seems like Tick Box is the one they picked. Why Tick Box? probably because it's the owners are here in the United States. And more importantly, they believe that this is a case they can easily win. Similar cases have been launching in Canada and UK and across Europe with great success. Europe, or UK at least in particular, has been throwing people in jail for selling these devices. Now it's come to the United States. We've already seen lawsuits against add-on manufacturers and websites that promote them. And now we're seeing lawsuits against the box manufacturers. At least today, this doesn't have a criminal aspect, so they're not looking at jail time. They could be looking at, though, legal fees. If this one is successful, like Torrent Free Pro points out in their story, look for this to come again. Once they get a precedent that they've won and there's history here, they'll probably continue to do it in the future. So I expect over the next year that these lawsuits are becoming more and more popular, and it's becoming increasingly more difficult to be an add-on or to be a box manufacturer. We've already seen many add-ons shut down out of fear of lawsuits and legal arrests around the world. And now we're seeing the box manufacturers feeling the squeeze to try to dry up. You already see Amazon has greatly cut down on these boxes with the help of movie studios, and even Team Cody has gone after them. And eBay's going after them. Facebook says they're going after them. It's still pretty easy to find them on Facebook, but even that I've heard is becoming increasingly more difficult. So we'll have to keep an eye on this as a story to go on for the years to come. Who's next? What's next? And will end users ever find themselves on the wrong side of these lawsuits? We'll have to wait and see. Now, those are the stories of things that have happened. I wanted to bring up one story looking forward for the week ahead, and that is Sling TV is offering a free trial on Sunday. So The Walking Dead premieres Sunday. They have a big marathon of Walking Dead on Sunday. Sling TV is giving everyone a free day of Sling Orange. So with it, you can access everything available on Sling Orange starting at 8 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. Now, there is some caveats. You can't just load the website. You have to actually go into a specific one, so keep that in mind. So let's dive in here. You need to go to sling.com/watch for free to get it. So that's your freebie. Look ahead, free Sling TV. Check out the notes down below. I will do my best to link to all these stories so you have an idea of what's coming up in the future and you can read the in-depth stories. Questions, comments, let me know. Hopefully some feedback on this new show, this new format, the graphics and the images that are floating around. I would really appreciate it and your support. So thank you for watching. Hit the thumbs up, it really is helpful. Please subscribe. If you have a cord cutting related question, also feel free to join us every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. We're right here on YouTube answering your cord cutting related questions.